Aloha and good afternoon. Welcome to our weekly program, Maui Nonprofit Notes, where we talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support the needs of Maui's community. We're sponsored by Pacific Source, Maui's best source for building materials, with a cabinet and appliance showroom open to the public in the Waikapu Base Yard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Interim Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and President of the Maui Nonprofit Directors. I'm happy to introduce my co-host for today. Hey, Sherry.
Hi, Susie. Happy belated birthday from yesterday.
Ouch. Oh.
You knew I was going to get that in there.
We're at the point, where we just celebrate them. We don't count them.
Okay, well, you missed this. I missed the celebration.
Thank you so much. And that voice was Sherry Dodson, Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity Maui.
Right. You got that right. You seemed hesitant.
I know. I don't know why that is.
Well, during this hour, we'll be sharing experiences of how nonprofit community leaders and their agencies work to benefit our beautiful island home. We'll talk about stories of how the agencies are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope. And today we have Curtis Tom from Bank of Hawaii. Hi, Curtis.
Hi, Curtis.
Hi, Sherry. Hi, Susie.
Curtis is the Vice President and the Kahului Branch Manager for Bank of Hawaii, and he also serves on several other boards that he's the chairman of.
Maui United Way.
And Maui Family YMCA.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
that keeps you busy.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but that's kind of the Bank of Hawaii way, isn't it?
Yes, we've always been very active in the community.
And Mike Lyons was the perfect example of that.
Yeah, Mike was the epitome of a banker. He lived his life by being active in the community and helping the community in which he worked in. So when he passed away in early 2004, the bank decided that they were going to give an award. The Bank of Hawaii is deeply connected to the Maui community. We've been here since we opened our Kaunakakai branch in 1928. We opened our Wailuku branch 2 years later. We have 135 employees throughout the county, and they are active in community service. During his career at the bank, Mike was an outstanding example of this kind of community involvement, and we're proud to name the Bank of Hawaii Mike Lyons Maui Community Award after him.
That's terrific. That's interesting. I didn't realize you started Maui County on Molokai.
Yes.
That's very cool.
There's got to be a story behind that.
I was talking to one of the other managers who was here, and I thought that we had started over here in Maui, but I have to. The next time I'm over on Molokai, I'm going to find out how we started that branch because I thought our branch in Kahului was older, but I was told by one of our retired employees that it was open in 1951.
My guess is that they didn't have a bank over there, and you guys saw the opportunity and went over there. Was my guess.
One of the oldest branches, I think, in the state is over in Lihue, and you would have thought that it would have been here on Maui first, but I learned that.
I would think that Bank of Hawaii probably went where the need was.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And Molokai was a larger population back then,
Yes.
and was pretty active. So
Well, it's still
active.
active.
It's down to 7,000 population. So
Is it really? That's all there's.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize.
yeah. When the ranch closed down, it made a big difference.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, I'm sorry
But-
I interrupted you, but
No,
I
that's
just
okay.
found that fascinating.
Mike was actually he worked on all the islands in the state. He oversaw the Big Island at one time. He was at the Lihue branch on Kauai for a while. He trained over on Oahu. It was very interesting because I have a very close connection to Mike in that when he was a management trainee, he told me that my aunt was his trainer. And,
Oh, wow.
And so...
So Bank of Hawaii is all in the family for you.
yes, it is.
Oh, great. And did you ever get a chance to work with him, or?
I had a chance to work with Mike in 1981 when shortly after I joined the bank, they asked who was interested in coming to Maui, and Maui was growing at the time, and I came over here. I love the place, and I worked here for 2 years, and I was told by Mike, it's time for you to go back to Oahu for more training, and hopefully you'll come back again. And I did 8 years later.
Oh,
Terrific.
Great. And Maui's your home now.
Yes.
Oh, good.
That's great. And Maui was always home to Mike. Is that correct?
Mike lived, as I said, he grew up on Maui. He spent a lot of time on Oahu. He was all over the state.
Okay.
So some people think that he only was here on Maui, but he was well known throughout the state.
Right. But this was home.
This was home. Maui was always. Mike always considered it his home, but he was a community banker, and he did his best to develop all the nonprofits on Maui. I mean, whether it was Maui United Way, or whether it was MEDB, or whether it was the MAC. I went through a list of all the boards that he was on, and I don't think that all the bankers on Maui, all put together, could do what he did.
Wow. Wow.
You could find his Palaka shirt everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. His life was truly one of giving.
Yes, it definitely
To the
was. And
community.
that's why Bank of Hawaii
Does this
honors
award.
them, or named this award in his honor. That's very cool.
And annually you select, I know it used to be you selected one winner because of the amount of the cash award, but that's grown tremendously now in the last few years.
It started off with, I believe it was about $5,000, but the needs of the community were so great that when we first met as a selection committee, we saw all of these applicants, are well deserving, and it was. If it was Mike, he probably would have opened up his checkbook, and whoever he couldn't award to, he would have done it personally. But over the years, it grew, and last year we awarded 3 awards to the Community Clinic of Maui, Halemakua, and Hui Malama Learning Center. And since 2004, when we first made the award, we've awarded over $95,000 in the county of Maui.
That's
Wow.
fantastic. And that money helps nonprofits. It's just tremendous help when it's non-restricted money that we, unexpected usually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, and the competition is so strong for it. I know a couple of years ago when we entered, there was, it seemed to me like there was like 30 people or more after that award.
I can't recall any of the years that I've been on the selection committee that we've had less than 30 applicants.
Yeah. And it was just, I remember walking into that room and seeing all these people there, and I go, wait a minute, you applied too? You applied? Oh, yeah, And it was $5,000 at the time, so we knew there was just one group that would win that, and it was like, I don't have a chance. But your selection criteria, it has to be a worthy project.
Well, let me go over some of the criteria.
Okay.
It's an easy application, and you can pick it up at any of the Bank of Hawaii branches, or you can go to our website at www.boh.com/community. And you can attach more information on there. I've seen all the applications come in with additional information because it's a 2-page application, but there's a lot of information that nonprofits like to provide to us. And the more that's there, the better understanding we have of that nonprofit. We ask that the organization's mission and how they're intending to fulfill that mission is explained. We ask that they give examples of how the organization's executive director and board have demonstrated leadership. We ask that they tell about steps or programs the organization has in place to address one of the focus areas: community development, education, human services, or arts and culture, and tells how the organization intends to use the award if selected. The bank is committed to financial education because we know how important this is for strengthening financial stability in the community. Therefore, additional consideration is given to applications from organizations that focus on community development through financial education programs. Here on Maui, we've been doing financial seminars throughout the community on budgeting, applying for a mortgage, how to clear up your credit report, even how to avoid fraud for consumers, businesses, and we have a new seminar coming out on how for seniors to avoid fraud. We've also partnered in the community with Hui Malama and Maui Family Support Services to help their clients receive financial assistance by doing budgeting seminars and other financial seminars for them.
Wow, that's terrific.
And that's such a huge need.
Yeah, that's it's something that everybody keeps thinking when you graduate from high school, come out of high school, you know all this stuff, right? You don't. There's nowhere in school that you learn these things.
That's very true. We, with Habitat, we have so many of our partner families who don't have a checking account. And part of our education is, this is so essential, having a checking account. But they're so leery of,
banks.
Banks and they somehow they think that the money's going to get lost if they can't see it.
It's not under the mattress or
so we have to explain federally insured.
Right.
You're not going to lose it, I promise.
Right.
No, but it's financial literacy is huge. It's and not just in home ownership, but just in, I don't know how many kids coming out of high school, they don't write checks either.
Mm-mm.
No, they don't know what a check is. Yeah.
When we partnered with Maui Family Support Services to do financial literacy or financial seminars, it was to help their families learn how to budget. And going through that, many of them felt that it was very helpful, and they shared ideas, and the idea was to help them get through the crisis and financial crisis, which we did these seminars back in 2010.
Are you still doing them?
Yes, we are. We do them for organizations that ask that we come out. We've had a nonprofit come out and ask about doing fraud prevention for seniors, so we'll be coming out with that shortly.
Good.
Boy, that's a big one. The seniors, they get hit with just about anything and everything.
It's just so wrong.
The phone rings and it's, you need this, you need that, or this broke. Or your warranty's about to expire on something, and of course that scares them because if the warranty's out, it's going to cost them to fix it.
Well, and the seniors just want somebody to talk to, so they'll engage.
Partially,
I don't have the time, so I hang up on them. But typically, a seniors, somebody calls them,
That's
they
true.
can, talk to them, and I think people take advantage of that. That's very unfortunate. But Bank of Hawaii is going to help.
Yes, we're here in the community, and if there are organizations or community groups out there who would like us to offer these seminars, we're happy to partner with them.
Well, thank you.
And how can they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us through the region office because we have branches throughout Maui County. We've got, we've got branches on Molokai, Lanai, all the way out to Hana. Although the branch in Hana is a bit smaller than the other branches in central Maui.
Everything in Hana is smaller.
But
that's why we love Hana.
They can contact us regarding more information on the Mike Lyons Award, as well as information about providing seminars through the region office, and that number is 856-2302. Once again, 856-2302.
Or can they go on the website?
They can go on the website. However,
Mike Lyons.
For the Mike Lyons Award, it's www.boh.com/community.
Okay, and they can download the application and stuff there.
They can download the application, yes.
So, have there been any projects that the nonprofits have entered into the award competition that stand out in your mind?
When they apply, it's to fund a project or to fund some type of training. But when the award first began, as we were talking earlier, the first awards went to individuals. Actually, the first year went to Boy Scouts because Boy Scouts was very precious to Mike. And then the second year, I remember that we had an award which went to a woman who had been very active in the nonprofit community, and it was very interesting because when she was contacted, we couldn't tell her that that she was going to be a winner, and she said, "Well, I'm going to be away on a trip, and I've got to go and see the Pope." And it was very precious for her because she was very active in her church, and her community work stemmed from her activity in the church. And so when she came back, she said, "I think I'm coming back the day before before this award ceremony, so I'll be there." And so we breathed a sigh of relief, and when it was announced that she was the winner, she was just thrilled, that she could do so much more for the community.
Wow.
Yeah, and she started Holly Cow Cow, I think.
Yeah?
I remember years back. She just was doing it on her own, and she was in the kitchen there. She's a parishioner of St. Teresa's, and just started it on her own. I think it's grown well past her now, which is great. But yeah,
terrific,
wonderful woman, which we can't remember her name, but it'll come to us.
Okay, that's the secret. We have a break coming up, so we'll think about that as we listen to this commercial.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we're back. And thank you, Paul, for saying those great words. I know it's your company, but it's all true. You do have a terrific warehouse and showroom. We were talking about, over the break, we got talking about how most nonprofit agencies get started with one person's idea or dream or something that's missing. And so at some point, it takes hold and it goes out and becomes a life of its own, and that's when you have an agency to work with. And while we're still trying to think of this lady's name, and we're going to get it sooner or later.
Gary's looking it up for us.
Oh, there we go. He's the guy.
Thanks, Gary.
So now, the year we were in, Haleakala Waldorf School won, and learning about what the school does impressed me, because I had no idea that there was a school out there that kids went to that was taught that way, where the teacher is with them the whole time through the school. And I think they were taking a trip, or they were going to do something. Was it a performance or a trip or an educational something? And that's what they had applied for their grant. And I'm sure you must get just all kinds of requests.
It's so difficult for us to actually choose the winners each year. And when we first came up with it, we looked at, wow, this is very difficult. It was just a concept that, if we were Mike and we could give X amount of dollars into the community, how would we go about doing this? Because so we went through and we read through all the applications, and we said, this is very difficult. Some people were starting their nonprofit, and it was a very worthy cause, and they, just a few $1,000s would mean so much to them. And so when we looked at it, there's just so many different opportunities in the community, and I would say that only a fraction of the nonprofits apply, but you never know if when you submit your story, it's very helpful.
That's the I think that's the interesting part about it, is that when you take a look at all the nonprofits, I mean, the missions of the nonprofits are so varied, and so if they're competing for this grant, like you said, last year you had 3 winners. I think 2 of them got $10,000, and the third one got $5,000. That's all significant, and I don't know. I kind of like the idea of it being split out instead of one organization getting 25.
Well, we're glad you like that, Susie.
No, because we all do so much with so little.
That's true.
That extra 10 could mean a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, anything that is unexpected and unrestricted is just such a blessing. So we thank you very much, Curtis, and Bank of Hawaii. And give us one more time how people can apply and when the deadline is. And
The deadline is April 17th, and they can apply by turning their applications into our Maui Regional Office at 2105 Main Street, which is our Wailuku branch. To call for more information, they can call 856-2302. That's the number for Joni Kawamura. She's the region assistant. Or they can go online and they can download an application from www.boh.com/community.
Terrific. Curtis, thank you so much for joining us today. We just think that the Mike Lyons Award is just such a tremendous thing, and it's a community builder,
definitely.
just like Mike was.
Yeah, you're perpetuating his
Brings us
his
all
legacy.
together.
It's wonderful.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much. We're going to shift gears. You have one more thing? Okay. Thank you. We're going to shift gears, and we're going to be talking next with the folks from Maui Family Support Services. And Curtis mentioned you guys earlier. Did you hear it when he was talking about it?
Yes, we did.
Isn't that great to have him bring your name up, and then here you are on the show?
Yes, thank you so much. We're happy, and we're happy for the support of Bank of Hawaii.
Yeah, I just thank you so much. I think it's just a tremendous thing that he was talking about with the training and teaching people about budgeting and so forth. And I'm sure your clients are no different from all the rest of our clients.
Let's introduce our
Should
new
we?
guests. I think so.
Who do we have here?
We have Adele.
Yes,
Oh, the last name, you're going to have to help me.
that's Adele Baguio Larena.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And I'm Debbie Butai.
Okay, and Adele, what do you do with Maui Family Support Services?
I'm responsible for the Early Head Start program, and that's one of the biggest program of Maui Family Support Services, and we work with pregnant women and families with 0 to 3 years old kids.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do with family support?
I'm the HR and Development Associate.
Oh, okay. So you, HR, my favorite subject.
Uh-oh. She may be
Bless
saying
you.
she's saying that, but she's not saying with a smile.
No, I wish I had somebody like you. I am HR. That's it. So tell us a little bit more about the Head Start program.
Early Head Start.
Early Head Start.
Yes, so we deal with the prior program to Head Start. So Early Head Start program, we're all in the 3 islands of the Maui County. We have the home visiting option and also the center-based option. So for home visiting option, we provide weekly home visits to families, and we provide them information on parenting, on child development, and we refer them to community resources. And we also offer twice a month socializations to help families connect with other families and to improve their connections in the community.
So these children that are in the program, are they in need of services, or are they disabled in some way, or?
Some of them have disabilities or special needs. They do need to qualify either by income or categorically. The categorical eligibility requirements are they are either receiving financial assistance, or maybe the child is in foster care, maybe the family is homeless, and then they need to meet the federal income requirements.
So we're talking about the very young. I mean, we're talking about pregnant women
Yes.
in this program. So it's before
That's
the
pretty young.
Yeah, that's before the babies are born. And that's where you've learned over the years that that's an important factor to get there. And as the baby's born and the family starts to come together as a family,
Right.
that's maybe where the most help comes.
Right. Because we want to start them early. We want the pregnant women to be able to get regular prenatal care so that they can have healthy birth outcomes, and that's where the education piece comes in.
And a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, we had MEO here with the Head Start program, and we kept saying, this is the Head Start program is what for 4 and 5 year olds.
Right.
Early Head Start it's kind of misleading, actually, because it's not really kids in a classroom like it is with Head Start.
Right, but we do have the center-based option too, and so we have 2 centers on Maui. We have one in Wailuku and one in Lahaina. It's similar to Head Start, but we start young. Our license is for 6 weeks old up to 36 months under 4 years old. And they do it's like a preschool setting, but it's more because it's infant and toddler. The routines are different. It's providing care and also teaching them how to interact with their peers, and it's very comprehensive because we're not just providing child care. It's not a child care, but it's a child development program because we're talking to families about health, physical health, mental health, nutrition. We do developmental screenings to make sure that they're on track in terms of their development, and if they show some delays in the developmental domains, then we refer them to a Part C provider, which is Imua Family Services on Maui, or the public health nursing offices, and other providers that can help the family.
Oh, that's great.
So the parents, either mom or dad, is with these kids.
Yes.
At this age.
Or some of our children too are being taken care of by grandparents.
True.
And guardians.
There's a lot of that going on, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kapuna care.
Yeah.
And we don't mean caring for our kapuna.
Right. It's the other way around. Right.
So it's Kupuna taking care. We have the ROCK program. It's raising our keiki.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So we have a support group for them too, because even in the early Head Start program, we have grandparents who are taking care of their kids, but then they need the support too to be able to raise their grandchildren.
It's tiring. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine what they go through every day.
Having a toddler at
Yeah.
my age, and
Well,
I'm not a...
even new mothers who are like 38 are going, oh, why did I wait so long, kind of thing. Can you imagine a
being
grandma?
60 or...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. It's really tough. And, there are many instances, unfortunately, where if a grandparent does have to step in, it is because, the child has some, some sort of special needs because of what their parents may or may have
Yes.
not have done during pregnancy.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's tough.
So I want to say that we're recruiting for families for our upcoming program year, and for currently we do our enrollment year round. So we're looking for families who are expecting, or families with young children who can benefit from our services.
And are the services, free of charge?
They're free of charge at no cost. Our center-based services are at no cost to families. Everything's provided from formula to diapers.
Wow.
We provide breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack, and we do have support from USDA.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What a wonderful service for families in need.
Isn't it? Now, how many can you serve?
For our Wailuku Center, we have 28, and in Lahaina we have 8 children, and this is through our partnership with Kahale Akeola Resource Center in the west side. And our Wailuku Center is right in our own facility at 1844 Wilipalup in Wailuku. And for our home-based, we have 83 families that we're providing services for.
That's
so total 119.
That's
Oh, my
wonderful.
goodness.
That's a lot of families you
And,
help.
and then home base, now that's going to those 83 homes.
Yes.
Wow. Now, if people are interested in applying or interested in the program, how do they get a hold of you guys?
They can call us at 808-242-0900, or they can visit us at 1844 Wilipalup in Wailuku. We do have offices in Molokai and Lanai as well, and they can just call our office in Wailuku to get those numbers for families who are listening right now on Molokai or Lanai.
You have a website?
We do have a website, and that's www.mfss.org.
Yeah. Now, the early Head Start program, that's not the only program.
No, that's not the only program that we have. We just got back Healthy Start program, which is funded by the state, the Department of Health, and we're very happy to have this program again, because this program is for families who are at risk of abuse and neglect. And the other program that we have is the Enhanced Healthy Start program. These are for families whose children have been referred to child welfare services. And we have the teen program and the father involvement program. Am I missing anything, Debbie?
No, I think that's all we have.
That's all you have.
That's
like
all. Whoa.
like that's not just a lot.
Yes. So since we got back the Healthy Start program, we do have some hiring needs. That's why we have Debbie here, so she can talk about the different positions that we have open.
Oh, well, that's always good information to give out because everybody's looking
For work.
Yeah. So Debbie, tell us what kind of positions are open at Maui.
Well, I think it would take up all of our time if I went through every single positions we do have available. But we have some of our needs are a home visitor. We also need.
Let's start with that home visitor. What kind of credentials do you need for that?
For that, we just a high school diploma, and we prefer somebody who's had a home visiting experience.
Okay.
Or experience in working with families.
Okay, so these are the people that go into the home and do assessments and stuff, or do they actually work with the kids?
They work with the kids and they work with the parents as well.
Okay. And what other positions?
We also have opening for our child care center for our caregiver. Requirements is
Or they need to have at least child development associate. It's a requirement by Office of Head Start. And for DHS licensing purposes, they need to have at least 24 months experience in working in a center-based setting, which is hard to find in the county and even the state. And so if they have a degree in early childhood education, they can, or even an AA or a high school diploma, but they want to go in this field, they can start working with us as a substitute caregiver, get the experience with Early Head Start, or work as a caregiver aide.
Oh, that's a good idea. And get some on-the-job training. And then they have the 24 months and they can upgrade,
yes.
get promoted.
Right.
We also have an opening for our ORS, which is Outreach and Resource Specialist. They are the one who goes into the hospital to interview all new moms or repeat moms and just offer our services and give out resources.
Well, they do that to every person who gives birth up
To
at
every new moms
and just
new
talk
parents.
story and see how they're doing and maybe identify
Right.
a need if there is.
Yes,
problem
yes.
before it happens.
Yes. And even if they don't agree to receive services from us, our outreach and resource specialist staff, they still give out the list of resources that are available in their community. So whether they sign up or not for services, they get that additional resource from
Because
us.
they may not know at that point that
Correct.
they need the help, but
Yes.
maybe 2 months into having a newborn and they're pulling their hair out, they're saying, "Where was that number?
Yes.
Who was that said they could help me?
Yes.
Where are they? Where are they?
Where
I need
are
them.
they?
I need them.
Yes.
I need a break. I need some
Yes.
help."
That's really ingenious. I got to say it. I
Well, you
and you've been-
identify where the need is.
and you've been doing that for quite a while.
I think since 1988.
Yes, and we're the only agency allowed in the labor and delivery.
Wow.
So we do have a good relationship with Maui Memorial Medical Center, and we have a good relationship with the OBGYN nurses there, and so they let us go in there and just, offer that support to new parents.
Yeah, because they're the ones who I'm sure, they've seen it all, and they probably know when maybe a mom or, a potential mom might be overwhelmed or might need services.
Yeah.
I got to throw in a personal thing here.
Okay.
Yeah.
My niece just started as an OBGYN nurse 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
She finally, hello. No, I mean,
It's a long process to become a nurse.
Yeah, but I mean, she graduated from college with her degree in business and the sciences, thinking at some point she might want to become a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then she decided that's just too long a road. So she went back to do the nursing, thinking at some point she's going to be a midwife.
Oh, wow.
But now but first steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get the RN, she got that.
Right.
Now she's started, and this is like her really first week on the floor, because the first week was orientation.
Okay.
And she says, wow, there's so much more to it than you learn in school.
Yes.
We think that's just what we studied, we didn't get it all. But even in nursing, and so, I mean, I'm really into this because she talks about, when she was studying
It's
things.
special.
And to think that you guys have been doing this since 1980, I mean, that's 32 years
Yes.
There's people that are grown up that you've seen.
that are now new mothers in there themselves.
Yeah, they're probably repeat customers.
Yes.
But that's terrific. And we're at the point where we need to take another little break. So, Paul, Take it away with
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
I just love that music. Thank you so much, Gary. It always just gets me in such a good mood. We're back here with Susie Tiemann, and go ahead.
And Sherry Dodson, and we have two people, wonderful people from Maui Family Support Services.
Adele and Debbie is in HR, and Adele runs the Early Head Start program,
Correct.
which is with infants and even
Toddlers and
Pre-infant.
Prenatal.
Yeah.
Prenatal.
Pregnant.
Thank you. That's the word. Susie and I don't have children, obviously. If we're talking about puppies, she and I would be able to talk to you about this stuff, but this is the wrong person to be talking about. And what else have you got going on at Maui Family Support Services, Adele?
Well, we would like to talk about the Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Awareness Month. And on Monday, the mayor signed the proclamation in Maui County for the prevention of child abuse and neglect. And we're here again to support that. And just to talk about it, we have the One Strong Ohana campaign, which is funded by the Hawaii Children's Trust Fund and the National Joyful Heart Foundation. And on Maui, it's being done by the Maui Hui Kaika Partners, which involves about 25 community agencies in the human services field in Maui County. And, it's talking about the 5 protective factors. But for today, we would like to focus on social connections as one of the protective factor, because isolation is a major risk for a child to be abused and neglected. And so for social connections, we want to support that friends, family members, neighbors, and other members can provide emotional support to families. And these are the support network that they can go to and be able to provide concrete assistance to families. And parents can get help in building network, So, for example, our socializations, that's one way of building their social connection. If they're so isolated at home, they need to get out. We encourage them to get out and talk to other parents and talk to them about what the challenges are. And, I can talk personally about my experience as a mom of twins. I thought I knew everything about child development. And
I'm a twin.
Yay!
Yeah, I know how troubled you must be.
And when, I delivered my babies, it was overwhelming. And, I know everything about kids by the books, but it was overwhelming. And what I just needed to do was talk to other moms. And so I created the SPOT, which is support for parents of twins and other multiples, and that helped me in talking to other parents. So that's one example of social connection, just encouraging families to talk to a friend, talk to a family member, talk to a neighbor. And having the home visitors coming to their home, they don't need to drive. If transportation is a big problem in our community. So by having the home visitor go to the homes, that can increase their social connection, because this is a person who can go there and that they can listen to, that they can talk to about their challenges, about their concerns, or just having someone to talk to, because sometimes it's very tiring to do caregiving 24 hours a day. And can you imagine if you have multiples?
I can't imagine. My sister and I were horrid to my mother. She tells us stories of when we were infants. But you touched on something about neighbors. And, I've heard so many stories you hear about this nationwide of, their child abuse going on for years and years, and, the neighbors thought maybe there was something strange going on, but they never really said anything, and, or, it was a little odd that the child never came out, this and this and this. And, it just amazes me, because I live in a very close-knit neighborhood. We all know each other.
Yes.
Let me tell you, if there's somebody new in the neighborhood, we all are alerted. We're very close, but we're kind of getting away from that, where neighbors do sort of just, I don't want to get involved. And you got to think about, that could be, you could prevent a child from undergoing, God forbid, horrible abuse by just speaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this campaign, which is again funded by Hawaii Children's Trust Fund, it's called One Strong Ohana campaign, and people can go to the website. They just need to type in onestrongohanacampaign.org, and they can get posters and tips about how they can help a family or an individual in child rearing and just raising kids. So they can get a lot of information from there, and if they don't have access to a computer, they can call us at 242-0900, and they can talk to one of our outreach worker and just get information as to what they can do.
Yeah, because this is April, you said, is Child Prevention Awareness Month.
Yes.
And so we all need to...
not child prevention.
I mean, child abuse prevention. Yeah, child
abuse.
prevention is what I did.
Child abuse.
Well, child prevention's a whole nother subject.
That is.
Child Abuse Prevention Month. And so everybody should be a little bit more aware, and it's good to get people aware of sort of, like you said, some of the signs. Are there things people should be looking for, or?
I have some statistics here that I can share. I'm looking at this one. A report of child abuse is made every 10 seconds.
Goodness.
In America.
Whoa.
And more than 5 children die every day as a result of child abuse.
My gosh.
Approximately 80% of children that die from abuse are under the age of 4.
Oh. They're the most vulnerable. Makes sense.
They are.
Yeah,
That's why Early Head Start, Healthy Start program makes sense, and the Enhanced Healthy Start program. And it is estimated that between 50 to 60% of child deaths due to maltreatment are not recorded as such on death certificates. So
there could be even more out there.
Yeah, and about 30% of abused and neglected children will later abuse their own children.
That's the scary thing. It
yeah.
just keeps growing.
Right. So the horrible cycle of abuse can continue. And that's what our programs are all about. It's about, creating those protective factors and starting early so that parents can, already identify the signs of, okay, I'm stressed. And if I'm stressed, then I might be more apt to abusing or neglecting my child if I don't, connect with other people or if I don't get help. About 80% of 21-year-olds that were abused as children met criteria for at least one psychological disorder.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then the estimated annual cost of child abuse and neglect in the United States for 2008 was $124 billion.
Wow.
Just billion. So with the B.
Another
With a
reason,
B.
for those economic types, that's another reason why it's so important to get involved and to know the signs and to get help if you are in crisis. Make that phone call to Maui Family Support Services. Reach out and break that cycle.
Yes.
Break that cycle.
This just came to my mind. Is it possible that a family that has several children could be abusing one and not others? Or is it usually all
happen.
kids?
No, that must happen. I'm sure.
And that happens. And, if they abuse their first child, it might happen again with their second child or their third child, if they don't get the support that they need.
I remember reading a book a while ago called It. Have you heard of that book?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that
the
one was...
The child being referred to as it.
It didn't even have a name. Yeah, and it was one child. They had, I think, 3 children, but they just picked out the
called
one child.
Yeah. The it.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, and it was his story. It was a success story, and a very happy ending. But boy, it was a deep book. It was my first experience in reading about and learning more about child abuse and how horrible it can be. And but yet it was, as I say, happy ending that he came out of it and very successful and
Right.
good story at the end.
Wow.
Right.
That's good because most of them don't end that way.
No, I'm sure there was some intervention. I believe there was. I don't remember too much of the details of the book, but there was intervention by the school. I believe his school finally got involved and helped the child. So I don't remember his name because the book was called It. But
we need to take time to think about neighbors, even relatives.
Yes.
So often we think all our relatives are just like us.
Yeah.
That may be good, might be bad. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think I grew up in a pretty normal household, and thinking that somebody would treat their kids this, the way we see in stories about this, movies about it, and so forth.
Right.
Just that's the once in a lifetime kind of story.
Right.
It's not. Your numbers prove it's not.
Right.
well, and that's in a very extreme case. The book was a very extreme case, but there's also other ways. There's psychological abuse. There's nutritional abuse.
Right.
There's other ways where you don't leave the scarring and so forth, and may not be as easily identified. Yeah. So
You don't know. Yeah, the scarring
the emotional
doesn't show itself until later.
There's a book called Emotional Cut, and it's even it's harder. That's harder when a child is emotionally and psychologically abused. There are no scars, but it's deep inside their brain, and so we need to cut that cycle. We need to work early on, prenatally.
Wow.
yeah.
Pre-infant.
Well, let's go to a happier subject.
Yes.
Don't you guys have a party coming up or something?
Yes,
Yes,
we do.
Tell me about it, please.
All right. Well, this is our first fundraising event. It's called the Spring Mardi Gras Dinner and Auction. It's to benefit Maui Family Support Services. And it is on Friday, April 27th, 2012.
That's coming up.
Yes.
Yes.
From 5:30 to 10 p.m. at the King Kamehameha Golf Club at Waikupu Ballroom. We're going to have wonderful food, awesome silent auction items. We're also going to have Slam featuring David Choi and Kelly Covington. And we'll also have DJ Del Sol.
Is Slam a group?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm kind of out of the loop.
Don't go dancing, Mancha.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Well, you can come and dance here.
There
We'll
you
have
go.
some dancing, yes. This event is sponsored by Commercial Properties of Maui, Bank of Hawaii, and First Hawaiian Bank, but we're also still looking for sponsors out there.
Always, huh?
Yes. To purchase a ticket or reserve a table, you can visit our website at www.mfss.org/upcoming events, or you can call our office at 242-0900, or you can email me at debbie@mfss.org.
So you're HR and development?
Yes.
Yes.
There's
has a big job.
We all have dual jobs, right?
Yes.
And how much are the tickets?
The tickets are $75.
That's great for dinner, dancing, silent auction.
Yes.
Fun.
Terrific.
And it's to support a good cause, for the prevention of abuse and neglect.
So if you're a business and you want to help sponsor, you can get great publicity. You could have had your name
Correct.
mentioned today
Yes.
if you had contacted them just a little bit earlier, but they'll still get your name out there if you contact them.
Of course.
And if you want to buy tickets or tables.
Yes.
Is there a special price for tables, or
No.
so it's just
Yes.
a table of 10, or?
Table of 10 for $750.
Well, that's a good deal, though. You can get your whole business out there.
Mhm.
So once again, give them information about how they can contact you.
They can call at 242-0900. You can ask for Debbie or Jana, or you can visit our website at www.mfss.org/upcoming events.
Okay, now, so you said that was your first fundraiser. Are you
Yes.
having more this year, or
Well,
more events coming up, or?
We're hoping if this goes...
Oh, this is the first annual.
Yes, this is our
Ah.
first annual event. So
Yes, so
we're
now-
hoping for a huge success so we can continue on every year.
Okay, and then you'll be
Terrific.
big. Then it'll be a big event, a huge event.
Yeah,
huge
right.
fundraiser.
This grows every year.
That's the
Until
idea.
you have to take over someplace bigger. Is there anything bigger than that? Yeah, some of the ballrooms in the hotels.
but King
Yeah.
Kamehameha Golf Club, that's
It's
beautiful
perfect
up
place.
there. It's
It's
gorgeous.
a nice view, too.
Yeah, and starting at 5:30, everybody gets to enjoy the change from the
Sunset.
daytime to the night lights coming up. Yeah, we were just over there for the mayor's
Small
annual
Business
awards. Yeah, the Small Business Awards. And one of our members, won that award last week.
Rich, yes, Maui Food Bank.
Maui
Woohoo!
Food
We're
Bank,
so
right?
happy.
And
What a deserving guy.
Everybody says, how can anybody beat the food bank? They do so much for so many, and he gave a marvelous talk in his acceptance speech, thanking everybody out there that has anything to do with helping them. And that's a lot of people.
Now, do you guys work with Maui Food Bank? You said you work with
We do.
Yeah.
We a lot of our families sometimes need food assistance, so our home visitors go to the food bank to look for additional food supplies for our families.
Yeah, it's amazing how many agencies that Maui Food Bank. It's amazing how many agencies collaborate here on Maui.
It is.
I'm just going to go there.
It's terrific. It really is. We've got just a few more minutes here, and I want to hit on the tips for healthy families.
Great.
I ran into this when I was going through their website in preparation for the show. And here's one that just jumped out at me. Babies don't come with instructions.
That's true.
That's why I didn't have any.
just because you're having a baby doesn't mean you know what to do.
Yes.
And having twins even.
Exactly. They need love and care from adults who can understand their cues and respond with appropriate care. And that's one of the things that right there is where a lot of the abuse starts. When the kids are saying what they need in their talk or in their speech, but the parents aren't getting the message.
Right.
And so they stress off into other areas. Anything else you want to add to those tips real quickly?
That families need to reach out, that they can just create their own social network by talking to families, talking to friends, talk to neighbors, call Maui Family Support Services for support.
There you go.
Yes.
There's the answer right there. And that's at
242-0900.
242-0900.
We've been paying attention.
Yay.
I want to thank you both for joining us today on Maui Nonprofit Notes. This show is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the Builder's Choice. If you're building or remodeling your home, please stop by their showroom in Waikapu Base Yard. It's beautiful. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. We also want to thank Curtis Tom from Bank of Hawaii. And remember, if you want to apply for the Mike Lyons Bank of Hawaii Award, deadline is April 17th. Go to their website.
It's coming up fast.
Yes.
Coming up fast. We encourage everyone out there to get involved by giving, advocating, or volunteering for your favorite nonprofit. Please visit our website at www.mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. We encourage you to get involved today. Mahalo for tuning in, and don't forget to join us again next week when we'll be featuring representatives from 2 more agencies, one of which is Community Work Day.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Hello.
You're Susie Thiemann?
Oh, yeah. I am. You're right. You're right.
Susie Thiemann.
9 times out of 10, I end the show without saying that again. And everybody says, who was on your show today?
And I'm Sherry Dotson.
And I'm with Lokahi Pacific. Sherry's with
Habitat for Humanity Maui. And thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to tune in next week. Ray Chandler from Community Workday. Is that the only agency that's on?
That's the only one I've got in my top of mind.
Oh, okay. All right.
That doesn't mean much,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
And thank you guys again for coming. I hope this wasn't
being
too
with
painful.
us.
Thank you for having us.
A lot of great information.
Aloha.
Have a great week, everybody, and aloha.